Salve Maria. As humans, we rely many times on solemn oaths and swearing done before trustworthy witnesses in order to have secure negotiations or agreements between two parties. One such agreement took place between two people with marriage in view. And who was their witness? It was Jesus himself. So today, let us look at the beautiful story of the miraculous statue of the Christ de la Vega. Also, please do remember to like, subscribe and share this video with all your friends and family. In the city of Toledo in Spain, there was once a soldier called Diego Martinez and a young woman called Inés de Vargas. They were in love with each other. They had maintained their relationship for some time, and since the father of Inés was aware of this matter, the young girl demanded that Diego should marry her. But after some time, Diego was called to fight in Flanders. However, due to the insistence of Inés, Diego solemnly swore to marry her on his return after the war in front of the crucifix known as Christ de la Vega. After the departure of Diego, Inés felt lost and alone, and often she went to the foot of the Christ who had witnessed their solemn engagement. As time passed by, Inés was still waiting for the coming of Diego, but Diego did not return. Meanwhile, Inés was suffering with great affliction. Every day, she prayed before the Christ who was the witness of the oath, asking him to protect Diego and bring him back safely. 2 years passed and the wars in Flanders ended, but Diego did not return. However, Inés never despaired. She always waited with faith and patience for the return of her beloved one. Every day she was on the lookout, waiting to see Diego. One day, she happened to see right in front of a group of soldiers fiancé Diego. He was accompanied by 7 lances and 10 pounds and was leading the group. She screamed and rushed to meet him, but he pretended not to know her and passed on. As he was successful in war, he had not only been promoted to captain, but had been knighted by the king and no longer considered Inés worthy to be his bride. Tears being of no avail, the despised young woman took a case before the governor of Toledo, Don Pedro Ruiz de Alarcón, claiming that Diego Martinez had sworn to marry her. But the governor denied such a vow, and with no witnesses, the case was about to be dismissed when Inés cried, "Indeed, there was a witness. It is the Christ de la Vega." There was a stunned silence. But this was Catholic Spain, and the Spaniards were serious Catholics. So the judge decided that Diego and Inés, together with all those present, should go to the Basilica of Saint Leocadia, where this particular statue of our Lord was placed. Kneeling between Diego and Inés before the life-size crucifix, Don Pedro held up a Bible and asked if Jesus Christ, Sovereign Lord, would indeed swear that Diego had sworn and promised before him to marry Inés. For a moment, there was a dead silence. Then suddenly, all those present heard a voice coming from the statue. "I swear." At the same time, it was seen that our Lord placed his right arm on the Bible which the judge was holding. Diego and Inés were so amazed and shocked that, giving up all earthly plans, they entered to the religious life. Until this very day, the statue of Christ de la Vega can be seen, and his right arm remains in the same position. Some people affirm that his mouth slightly opened after he said those words, affirming as to the fact of him being a witness of the oath of Diego. What a beautiful story! It is another splendid aroma of the marvels of medieval times. A couple that had plans of coming together to form a beautiful family finally ends up deciding to dedicate their lives to God's service. But what is the lesson that we, who are part of the 21st century, can take from this story? Remember, we are living in a time where one feels as if the funeral of marriage is already at hand. Marriage is a beautiful sacrament wherein a couple makes a promise of fidelity before Christ in order to bring forth a family and to live faithfully until the hour of death. But the tide of impurity of our times has been so tremendous that the young generation looks at marriage as an old-fashioned thing. How many young couples live a life of sin by having relationship without even approaching the sacrament of holy matrimony? Can such relationships last for long and have a tranquil family life? A union of a couple that does not have the blessing of God can hardly reap any lasting fruit. It is common to see that many of these unions themselves do not last long, and the poor children who are result of such unions end up in a miserable state. But it is also the same case with couples who do not live faithfully in their married life. We should remember that as Christ de la Vega had manifested miraculously his concern about the future of a young couple and their bond, he considers with same care the marital bond of any married husband and wife. So as Catholic parents, it is important to guide children so that they may not go astray having relationship that do not have Catholic marriage in view. And also, for married men and women, it is important to live a life of prayer to have an enduring bond between spouses. Therefore, let us ask our Lord, together with Our Lady and Saint Joseph, to give young Catholic couples the inspiration to seek the blessings of Christ in the sacrament of marriage and to keep united all those who have come together through this holy sacrament. May God bless you. Salve Maria.